After the decision to leave the EU, British authors had a lot of novel material to offer. Then came the next dystopia made reality, the virus. What does the combination of Brexit and COVID-19 mean for British literature? I want my country back. This is how the young author Laurie Penny wrote a startling text after the 2016 Brexit referendum based on a slogan used by the Brexit supporters. J.K. Rowling had warned in a tweet that Lord Voldemort would vote for leave. And Robert Harris tweeted, "Feel like I'm in a bad dystopian political thriller." Other authors went straight to the analysis. Martin Walker, for example, said, "The Brexit vote is a victory of the past over the future, the old over the young, the less educated over the academics, from Little England over Great Britain." Or Philip Pullman, president of the Society of Authors, who put it this way, "We had a headache, so we shot each other off. Now we can no longer walk and we still have a headache." One of the slogans of the Leave movement was, "We want our country back." The young blogger and writer Laurie Penny wrote after the referendum in her "I Want My Country Back" article, "I'm afraid that the wish of those who want their country back will come true. It will be a hostile, inhospitable place for immigrants, ethnic minorities, queer people, for everyone who was not meant when Nigel Farage, one of the co-founders of the Brexit Party, declared the victory of the normal, correct people." Britain is traditionally a literary nation, and so writers have accompanied and promoted the discussion about Brexit. The Scottish author A.L. Kennedy lives in London and has often spoken out as a committed opponent of Brexit, not least in columns in German newspapers. She sees England infected by Trumpism. Literature, however, promotes empathy, and that is not in demand in a society where insults and indignation are the order of the day. Fortunately, people are still interested in literature and are shocked by what is happening to their country, she says. Jonathan Coe presented one of the novels of the hour in 2018, Middle England, a kind of comedy in which Coe lets his characters lurch into Brexit. In March 2020, the author is sitting in a Berlin cafe, before one of the very last readings that will take place before the first lockdown. There is a strange nervousness in the air. Will he even be able to fly back to London? We all don't know yet what lockdown feels like, Coe says. I read an article in The Atlantic this morning that annoyed me. It was said that in addition to Corona, Brexit would immediately become a temporary problem. Even if everything should become a temporary problem besides Corona, I think we have to be able to devote ourselves to more than just one thing. But sometimes that's not that easy, especially not when two phenomena multiply each other in their drama and dynamics. Even before the virus hit the island, visions of what was in store for Britain were bleak. In John Lancaster's novel The Wall from 2019, England is surrounded by a high wall, which is defended against any intruders by all means, including inflatables, a result of Brexit in connection with a so-called change in the novel that means climate change. Brexit has deeply divided the nation, or the vote simply revealed how divided the nation already is. Jonathan Coe believes David Cameron did not know that he would open Pandora's box by voting. Someone more responsible would not have done that, he says. Many authors see it that way. Laurie Penny's essay concludes with the words, "This Britain is not my Britain. I want my country back. I want my imperfect, tolerant, future-orientated, creative country back." For A.L. Kennedy, it is an unmistakable sign of the decline of public service media when they offer a stage for men like Nigel Farage. The BBC made him great. This ghastly guy who looks like an abused frog and has nothing coherent to say. He's boring, aggressive drunk who sits in the corner of the pub. And that's where he should have stayed. That's what Kennedy said, not me. I would have other words for him. Since the Brexit referendum, numerous essay volumes and non-fiction books have been published on the subject, including, ironically, colored books that explain to us Europeans what makes Great Britain tick. The British thing about the Britishness emphasizes not only the non-fiction books, but also many novels of these days. In John Lancaster's The Wall, for example, the drinking habits in the pubs are particularly emphasized. Also a cultural difference between British and Europeans. A state of intoxication in which you ingest so much alcohol so quickly that you continuously get more and more drunk during the following 2 hours when you actually don't drink anything. Although I must say that's not a British speciality. There are occasions here in Germany where this happens to Germans too, so I have to disagree there with him. The current novel by Jean Le Carré, published in 2020, has a sport as its title that is supposed to reflect the elegant, prancing English way of communication: badminton. A typical Le Carré, in which the old master of the political thriller apparently feels challenged again by Brexit and Russia's resurgence in foreign policy. Brexit and its consequences are the subject of literature. A.L. Kennedy, however, the great literally litter expected yet, and she wonders if that will be noticed at all. The literature will respond, definitely, she says. But will that still be noticed? Literature has so little publicity here now. When I write about the United Kingdom and Gibraltar European membership referendum, which is perceived in Germany more than in England. The author Will Self, on the other hand, sees the dawn of a golden age of fiction. In one of his texts he says, "Even if the Brexit decision was an unexpected and shocking event, what inspires writers above all is what has preceded it and what follows it. Because that tells something about the character of our nation. In the next 4 to 5 years, English literature will not only have to deal with Brexit. In addition to the radical change that the completed Brexit means, there is the coronavirus. Which of the two topics will literature dominate? Whether the United Kingdom and Gibraltar European membership, or Corona, more influenced? Who knows?" What does A.L. Kennedy have to say to that? Here we have Brexit, Corona, and our government with its failure. The same people are responsible for both. So we'll probably get the worst possible variant of both. And because many complained that it's always only the German view. Of course, I took this from German sources, but I wanted to present you a view completely made up of British people, authors from several parts of Great Britain, and I haven't picked German authors for that, and the German sources I rely on haven't picked German authors for that. But it is the case that many Germans do read their books now because they are interested. With many Germans, I mean many of those interested in literature. It's not much more than people in the UK interested in literature. We are in a different age today. When I was young, I read books every day, but that's not the case anymore with the youth today, unfortunately. But you see, that's a British view. And if you now want to know more about Brexit, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you on the end screen next to the subscribe button. And if you want to know more about European or global news and politics, the button to the two channels are up there. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß.